So I don't know
Yeah,
if you could
you
address
brought up two different things there.
about a bunch of different.
I would, like on the initial day of doing it, I would maybe do each thing twice and point out the things we're not, and maybe do it slow first. Like we're going to try it out, and then we're going to try to do it the best we can. But then I'd go back to, we're going to assemble the plane in flight here. We are at the very least, we are doing some big range of motion things. We're doing some things that get the central nervous system revved up because we're trying to do it with high frequency, high intensity. We are at least attempting to jump, which I think is kind of approaching being explosive.
Yeah.
So all those things, it's like that 6-year-old is not going to be able to jump over anything more than 3 inches. But I think we want them doing that. We want kids to attempt to jump. Just like we would want a 64-year-old man like me to want, I don't want to jump because I'm not good at it, but somebody needs to tell me that that is part of being an athlete. And if I want to be a 64-year-old athlete, I need to jump over little boxes. And we don't have to be great, but we can improve on those things. So now getting to your wickets, what I would do with a mixed group is I would have, I like 8. 8 seems to be,
6 foot?
at 8 at 6 foot is for the stars of your group. That's what I would do for my boys' high school track team. And none of my track athletes is that too long for or too short for. So 6 is really good. I would go, you go 3 lanes. 1 at 5, 1 5.5, 1 at 6. And one of the things we do is we run into them. We build up our speed before we get to them.
Yeah.
And our cues are big in the front. That's knee up, foot in front of our body, and short in the back. We want on toe off, we would like to get the leg out in front of us as soon as possible, not letting it stay dangling long in the back. And that's a distance, every distance kid is long in the back, just long in the back, long in the back.
Yeah.
We have to tilt it towards the front. So the other thing is we're not going to reach going over these. We are not going to reach. Now, if you find yourself having to reach, it's because your speed is not high enough. So it's very possible that I would have to go over 5 foot or even 4.5. I don't know, 4.5 foot wickets, mini hurdles, in order to not have to reach.
So that you're shortening your stride and lifting your knee.
Yes, yeah, we are not going to reach out on every step. So the only way we get over these is by running fast. And because my max speed maybe is only 12 or 13 miles an hour, there's just no way I can go over 6 foot. I haven't tried, but I don't think I could, just because I'm not fast enough. So I would have like 3 sets of them. And here's another thing too. A lot of times
I've got 20, I think.
Then do 2 sets. Then do 2 sets. Do 2 sets, one at 5 and 1 at 6. And if people are reaching at 5, tell them that they have to run faster to get into it and maintain their speed. And if that still doesn't work, maybe you need to go 5.5 for one group and 4.5 for another. But
you'd ever divide people by height at all?
No,
just by speed.
It'll all be because of speed.
Okay.
Like my 6'3" sprinter goes over them just the same as my 5'3" sprinter. It's really speed that gets you over them. It's not the length of your stride. And so, yeah, I would, more I think about it, with a real mixed group of like competitive high school sprinters, you might go at 4.5 feet and 5.5 feet for the 2 and tell them to sprint into it, big in the front, short in the back, and maintain their speed and never reach. I think those things are really good. And I was going to tell you too, you can lay them down because one of the curses of a coach is somebody mows them all down and takes 60 seconds of your life to put them all back up. And what we found is that you can lay them down or even go as far as put any type of slat or, you know, like picture like a meter stick.
Yeah.
And just put the meter sticks out there. And that takes away, you know, like if somebody is having trouble getting over them.
Some of the fear, maybe
Yeah, they can just step on them then,
okay.
you know, and they'll never knock them over. But, you know, I think it does the exact same thing when they're laying down. So
Can I lay out some dead rattlesnakes?
that would work really well too. I tell people if they're laying down, still run over them like they're 6 inches. You know, let's try to pick up our foot. That's the whole idea. So yeah, I would do that.
So how would you do that with such a large, sorry, I know you say you have people standing around. I'm trying to figure out in my head, so a couple points here. How am I going to manage 40 people, maybe 2 different groups, one at a time? What do I have other people doing? If they're just hanging out, chit chatting, if I make that part of it, bring some tea or something, or the other
just
part
one
about
coach? You just have one coach?
I have an assistant coach.
Okay.
I have an assistant, so I do have someone else that can help me, but and I could grab people to volunteer. I was also thinking about, you know, partnering up, say, give someone your phone, have them videotape you. Here's your partner. You guys are about to, you know, I learned about QR codes. So I'm going to have everyone bring their phone and you can create a Google form, have them scan the QR code and then enter this form. And so it'll pre-populate a spreadsheet. So it'll do all this stuff. And so anytime they do their times or whatever, so like you said, record and publish. So I'm going to get them either to write it down, then I'll put it in the spreadsheet, and then we'll have that so everyone can see what everyone else's times are. But the other thing is, like, I want to do like a 6-minute time trial and a 30-minute time trial. And I noticed last night that I did not want to do a 6-minute time trial after doing the atomic workout. I could feel it in my legs.
Really?
So, yeah, like I could definitely feel that my legs had been worked, especially my hamstring and glutes. So it definitely affected my performance. So, and you always say fresh. Well, that's for the speed stuff. But I couldn't, because of the, you know, the challenge of the speed. I did two 23-second sprints. So, and then plus the wickets, and then some of the other plyos and the A skips and stuff. And then after doing that, that was enough for me to feel it when I went to do that mile or the 6-minute time trial.
Yes, and those are the things we learn in coaching. Like to a college athlete who has a base of strength and speed and power and all that stuff, the atomic workout is a drop in the bucket. They will feel better afterwards than they felt before. So for one kid, it could be the perfect warm-up for whatever they're doing next. But for
someone who doesn't sprint, has never done that, is total impact on their CNS. It's just, it in and of itself, it's something.
Yes. And so it might be that all you do, and this is where I would, getting back to what I would do on Wednesday, 10 speed drills, 2 or 3 time sprints, and then X factor stuff. That's what I do. Now, X factor stuff, you mentioned, you know, I don't want to leave the thing about how do you implement. Obviously, with any big group, coaches and teachers are taught to divide and conquer. You know, that don't have everybody doing the same thing. So what you can do is you can say, okay, X factor, we're going to do 4 different things. One station, we're going to do jump rope. And they said, well, you know, are we jumping for 5 minutes or 1 minute? No, you jump as fast as you can and then rest as long as needed before you do it again. It may be a 15-second, you know, and then hand it to somebody else. And then don't do it again if you're still tired. You know, you might only do it once if you never recover. But you got jump ropes, let's say in one station, and then another station you have med balls. What do I do?
So let's no props. Make it simple, like just like the lunges, the backward lunges.
Okay,
Let's
no
keep it-
props.
I think just learning those things is going to be enough. I don't even need to introduce like jump rope, med ball stuff.
Okay.
That'll be challenging.
Okay, so yeah, one station would be the 4 types of lunges. And one station could be
So this would have to be after
the time
introducing.
sprints.
Well, after the time sprints, okay,
Yeah,
that. But then also so I'd have to teach it. So I have to give, like, at some point I have to introduce everything what we're doing, and
correct.
then once we do it, and then set it up, and then people can practice or implement it as part of the
Well,
workload.
I think you're doing it and practicing both at the same time,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Like for some people, it will be so imperfect that they're just trying to do it right. For other people, they are going to do it technically really well. And both people will benefit in slightly different ways. The people who do it really well will benefit more performance-wise. The people who are learning how to do it will benefit by being able to do it right eventually. So I would do that. Now, if you're feeling like you have to teach and do it both, you probably need to just go into 2 groups and have your assistant working with, let's say, a lunge group while you're going over the mini hurdles a few times. And early, it needs to be just an introduction. I mean, for some of these people, this will be the first time they've ever gone over mini hurdles ever.
Yeah. Or done A skips. I mean, I'd never done A skip before.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's going to be a whole thing, like breaking it. I was watching, I don't know, some woman has a breakdown of it, like the cute Olympic athlete, whatever her name is. She's got her Insta stuff.
yeah.
But she broke it down, and like, how do you?
Yeah, and as track coaches, we laugh about, every incoming freshman class where half the sprinters can't skip. I mean, we're talking like a 15-year-old guy that thinks he's going to be on the track team can't skip yet. I mean, like, what? But we know that's the case. And we also know that after a season, they'll come back on the first day their sophomore year and skip like they've always, like, oh yeah, I've skipped all my life, coach. I mean, it's like easy. And that's what we want with all ages. We want them to get better from week to week. We want to play the long game where these are skills that are, I think they're joyful, good stuff that you could do, at a health club. I mean, just skipping and lunging, not lunging. I don't know if you've seen people lunge. I mean, it's not very joyful. But we only go left and right 3 times. That's not miserable. You do long lunge, 3 left, 3 right, and you're done.
Yeah, that's why I like the 5-6 seconds or whatever. And
yeah, it's all just, it's a stimulus. It's a training stimulus. It's not a training. We're never burning the state.